Welcome to the King Film Sports 2022 Big Ten Men's Basketball Conference Tournament predictions, and let's get right into it with the first round where we've got a blazing hot Nebraska team against Northwestern, and obviously I'm going to have Nebraska here. They've won 3 straight on the road, including 2 ranked wins over Ohio State and former number 1 seed Wisconsin, respectively, so I'm going to have the Huskers in this one. Next, we've got number 14 Minnesota and number 11 Penn State. And Penn State has shown that they can stay close with a couple good teams here down the stretch in this season. So I'm going to have Penn State easily over a Minnesota team that just can't seem to find their stride this year. Next up, we've got Michigan against Indiana, and Indiana really needs this win for their bubble case as they have dropped 2 straight matches that they really needed to win, one of them against Purdue and Rutgers, and I do not think that they will win this one. Honestly, I think that Michigan's the better team at this point in the season. Of course, coming off a huge win over Ohio State, they've won 2 out of 3 despite Juwan Howard's absence, and I think that they are going to want to play for him as he returns. Then we've got Nebraska against Iowa, and in a shocking upset, I'm going to pick Nebraska in this one. Iowa is a very, very good team, and they're very hot right now. Of course, they did lose by the 2 points at Illinois. But other than that, they've been very good down the stretch here in the Big Ten. Either way, I'd have the winner of this beating Rutgers because I think Iowa is grossly underseeded for how well they're playing in the conference. Granted, they haven't really beat many of the quality opponents, but they're still a very good Iowa team. But that being said, I'm going to have Nebraska ball moving on. They're just blazing hot team, and I believe that upsets will happen if a team is playing for their season, which Nebraska is. Iowa should be safe in the tournament. We've got number 10 Maryland against number 7 Michigan State, and despite Maryland's win over Ohio State just a couple weeks ago, I'm going to have Michigan State here. Despite their losing streak down the stretch, they did just beat Maryland on Saturday, and that's the only reason I'm having Michigan State winning. Then we've got Penn State against Ohio State, and in the shocking upset, I'm going to pick another double-digit seed to knock off one of the big dogs here, and that is going to be Penn State, as even though they've lost 4 of their last 5, I mean, they're the 11th seed. What can you expect? They played very close to Ohio State in their lone meeting this season. It was at Ohio State, ended up being a 5-point game. They also played extremely close to Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota. A lot of their losses are close here, and then at Rutgers, of course, in their final game was a 1-point game. So I'm thinking that Penn State is also a team that's gotten unlucky this year. I think they can make a little run and prove that they're a better team than their seed indicates. In the quarterfinal, we will see Illinois for the first time, and I'm going to hammer Illinois over Michigan just because Illinois was able to get the win at Michigan just a couple weeks ago. I think that they will continue to be dominant in the Big Ten. They were handed a gift, that 1 seed, by Wisconsin losing, although I'd argue that Wisconsin has the easier matchup against a cold Michigan State team. For that reason, I'm going to pick Wisconsin in the 2-7 matchup. Even though Wisconsin lost to Nebraska and they've gotten lucky in their past few games, even when they've won, I'm still going to take Wisconsin over a slumping Michigan State team. If we just look at the broader scheme of things, then like I said before, I'm going to take Nebraska to upset a Rutgers team that I think has no business being the 4 seed. Of course, they won a 3-way tiebreaker at 12-8 between themselves, Ohio State, and Iowa. And I think that Iowa is also a better team. So as I said before, I would also have Iowa beating Rutgers if it came to that matchup. But I like the little 13 seed Cinderella story. And then finally, you've got Penn State against Purdue, and this is where I have it ending for Penn State. Purdue currently has the best odds by KenPom to win this tournament. I think that they're the best team here. They've gotten unlucky over the course of the season, but I think that things will regress to the mean. They've lost 2 out of 3, barely beat Indiana, and they did not show much heart in that Indiana game, but pulled it out just because of their better talent. I don't think that Penn State is as good as Indiana is, so I think this one should be easier for Purdue. Let's move on to the semifinal where I've got Illinois cruising. I think that Illinois is just too talented. Curbelo, Coburn, and the rest of the gang just will be too much for Nebraska to handle here. They've made it far enough. Then we've got 2 Wisconsin against 3 Purdue, and I'm going to have Purdue getting revenge from that last second shot that was hit against them just a couple weeks ago. Give me Purdue to get to the final with the talented squad of Ivy, Edie, and Stefanovic to get to the final. And then in the final, I've got Purdue winning. I could see this one going either way, but I think that Purdue is going to take this one just because in both of their regular season meetings, they kind of crushed Illinois, even on the road. So I think they're going to complete the 3-game sweep of Illinois and win the Big Ten men's basketball tournament, perhaps prime themselves for a 2 or 1 outside chance at a 1 seed. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to comment your thoughts and predictions below.